There are moments in life when you don't expect the past to reach out and touch you. But it does softly, like a familiar hand brushing your shoulder in the dark. That's how this story begins, quietly, tenderly, yet with a weight that settles deep in your chest before you even realize you're holding your breath. I want you to hear this the way I lived it. Slowly at first, then all at once. My name is Arya Hale, and on one chilly evening, while still wrapped in the ivory robe my mother gave me on my 18th birthday, I walked downstairs without knowing that a single moment was about to change everything I thought I understood about grief, love, and the strange ways we learn to keep living. The robe was old now, worn at the edges, its threads a little loose, but it still held the faint scent of rosewood and rain. Even after all these years, that smell had the power to stop time for me. It felt like memory made physical, something I could hold against my heart whenever the world felt too heavy. Dad Adrian Hale was sitting on the couch, half upright, half folded into himself, as if the weight of the day had pushed him down without asking for permission. Papers were scattered around him, untouched, and the television played an old, black and white film in silence, reflecting flickers of light across his tired face. When I stepped into the room, he looked up at me, and for a moment it was like staring into winter. His eyes used to be warm, alive, the kind that softened a room before he even spoke. But after Mom Leora Hale passed away when I was 12, those eyes slowly dimmed. Not all at once, but little by little, the way candles burn down after hours, leaving behind only a faint glow and the memory of what once was. For a few seconds, neither of us spoke. The silence stretched between us, not sharp or hostile, just familiar, like a language we both learned without meaning to. The soft hum of the refrigerator mixed with the gentle crackle of the lavender candle he kept burning on the mantel. That scent used to mean comfort. Now it felt like a reminder of how long we'd been surviving instead of living. Before everything broke, our home had been loud in the most beautiful way. Dad played old Wild Shore Ensemble records on Sunday mornings while cooking breakfast, humming under his breath as if the whole world existed in that small golden rhythm. Mom would dance barefoot across the kitchen tiles, laughing whenever he dipped her too low or spun her too fast. She liked to steal spoonfuls of pancake batter when she thought no one was watching, and he'd tease her for it every time. I'd sit on the counter kicking my feet, clapping along to the beat, wishing the world would always feel like that, warm, musical, alive. But life doesn't take votes. One year Mom got sick, tired at first, then pale, then swallowed by doctor visits, tests, and words that sounded too sharp to belong to her. Cancer. It felt like the universe had written that word in stone and dropped it right into our lives, breaking every fragile thing we thought was strong. A year later, she was gone. I was 12. And the day we buried her was the day our house went silent. Dad stopped playing music. He still made breakfast, but never ate it. He began folding my laundry with the precision of someone trying to hold his world together stitch by stitch, but he did it without speaking. Some nights, through the thin wall of my bedroom, I heard his muffled sobs, the kind that twist inside your chest because you know the person crying is trying so hard not to be heard. That's when I learned that silence can be heavier than grief itself. The years that followed turned into a blur of routine. I drowned myself in school activities, debate team, yearbook editing, volunteer work, anything that filled my minutes so I wouldn't have to face the quiet waiting at home. By the time I turned 21 and came back from Crestmont College for a semester break, the house felt exactly the same as it always had since she died. Still, paused, like it was waiting for something that would never return. Dad still wore his old gray sweatpants. He still kept the same half-finished cup of coffee on the counter. And he still avoided the old record player, like it was a relic from another life he wasn't allowed to touch anymore. One night, exhausted from a long shift at Riverview Library, I dropped onto the couch beside him. He closed his laptop slowly, as if deciding whether to speak. "You okay?" he asked softly. His voice was different that night, gentler, warmer, like it carried a piece of the man he used to be. "Just tired," I said. "Long day?" He murmured, his gaze lingering on me with something like concern. I nodded. For the first time in a long time, it felt like he saw me, not just the daughter who kept busy, but the person underneath all that noise. Over the next few weeks, something subtle began to shift between us. We cooked simple dinners together, pasta, soup, toasted bread with herbs. He asked about my classes, my friends, my plans after graduation, as if remembering how to be part of my life again. He asked about my classes, my friends, my plans after graduation. My friends, my plans after graduation, as if remembering how to be part of my life again. And I let him. One evening, while rummaging through old boxes, he found Mom's recipe notebook. His fingers brushed the cover gently like it was something sacred. "Let's try one of hers," he said, his voice fragile but sincere. "Lemon rosemary chicken." The kitchen filled with scents from my childhood: citrus, herbs, sizzling warmth. We didn't talk much while cooking, but we didn't need to. The silence between us felt softer again, almost comforting. After dinner, he looked at me and said, "Your mother would have been proud of how strong you've become." I smiled and whispered, "You too." He shook his head. I stopped for a while. I forgot how to live. That was the first time he admitted it aloud. Healing doesn't arrive dramatically. It comes quietly, through small returns, opening curtains again, tasting coffee, remembering to laugh. We started walking together in the evenings. Sometimes he talked about Mom, not the sickness, but the life. The way she tripped over her own feet when she danced. How she once burnt a whole tray of cookies and pretended they were creative. For the first time in years, I felt myself letting go of the fear that remembering her meant reopening the wound. Maybe remembering was its own kind of healing. Then, one afternoon while cleaning the attic, I found something that made my breath catch. A folded letter tucked inside an old photo album. My name written on the front in Mom's handwriting. My hands trembled before I even opened it. It felt like she was reaching through time, through everything we had lost, to speak to me again. And what she wrote inside, that's where everything changed.